Hi everybody, my name's Rebecca and welcome back to My Bookish Travels. I am again in a new location, and after 2 weeks of being away, I'm finally home. The only thing is, with being away for 2 weeks, my room is definitely still a mess from trying to unpack 2 weeks worth of things. So today we are going to film in our study here at home. So I hope you guys enjoy. Today I'm going to be jumping into all of the things from the month of February, and I'm so excited to discuss. So for the first section, we're going to be discussing books, and I only have three that I want to mention from what I read last month that are kind of the top tier books of the month. So the first is called Night Angels. It is a heavier topic. It takes place during World War II, and we are following a Chinese diplomat who continues to give visas to the Jews in the midst of all of the rules and regulations and governances that Hitler provides and produces. This is a very intimate book, I feel like, because of the fact that you have a lot of different things taking place where the characters are literally walking through, going through all of these in a vastly different part of what we are used to hearing for World War II fiction. I personally myself was not aware of a Chinese diplomat who was doing this, and the story follows the main character, who is based off of a real Chinese diplomat who did this during World War II. And the rest of the characters are fictionalized, but it's absolutely amazing with what this person chose to continue to do. He chose to do the right thing in the midst of so much pressure and abrasion to what was being said to be done. And he really stood firm on his belief that what he was doing was right. There was actually a section at the end where the author recommended an biography of sorts based on this person. And I feel like after finishing this novel, really want to go and read that because I found him to be a very inspiring person. And I definitely would love to read more from his words or from his family. I believe it was written by his son, or his son did the translation of it. I forget. But Night Angels was very well done. And if you're looking for another World War II fiction novel, definitely give this one a shot. The next one I read was Caraval, and this one was 5 out of 5 stars. I don't know if anyone else had this, but I got severe Alice in Wonderland and The Wizard of Oz and Labyrinth vibes from this story. It was so good from the start to the end. I had the same situation as the main character where I started to actually forget that it was just a game, and I got very involved in my emotions when reading this story, and I actually recommended it to my sister, and I was telling her, and the minute that I said I got Labyrinth vibes, she's like, hold up, all right, I'll read it for that. So I hope she enjoys it. I don't know if she will, because again, we do have differing tastes in what we read, but I really enjoyed Caraval. I loved the atmosphere. I thought I was going into something that was very like circus related for the story. That was the vibe I was getting going into it. And to go into something completely different to it, I just loved it so much, and I would love to see this turned into a movie or a TV show. There's just so many options, and I feel like we have the CGI capabilities to make this even better. And I loved everything about it, and I'm excited to continue on reading. And the third one I wanted to mention is Bullied. This one was a 5 out of 5 star read for me. And it's one that I actually, when I started reading it, I had to put it down for a while because it just wasn't the right time for it. And I recently ended up finishing it and was blown away. I think the author did a really good job of being very respectful in discussing a story that was dealing severely with being bullied. For myself, I think I struggled with the first part of it because of the fact that I did at times get bullied, and it could become something that just felt like you couldn't get out of it. And I love that the author didn't just resolve absolutely everything and make it all perfect at the end. I am hopeful the author does continue writing in this series. I feel like he's left it open to be able to do more. The one thing that I found very interesting and was the main reason why I picked it up is, just like in The Book Thief, where they personify death, in this one, they personify fear and certain key emotions. And I just found that very interesting and definitely want to share. If you guys want to read something that has a different take on how they address certain things, or just take a unique writing style in general, highly recommend giving this book a shot. I do want to just give triggers that it does deal with death of a family member, it deals with cancer and loss, and it also deals with the emotions that we have from that, as well as severe bullying, both mentally and also verbally. And that is something that I think a lot of people will find quite triggering with this story, but I also feel like the author's done a really good job of addressing it and actually coming out on the other side of the story. The next section I want to discuss is podcasts. I didn't really listen to any new ones in the month of February, but my mom and I did listen to the most recent update on Serial for season 1 with Adnan Syed getting released, as well as evidence that was known at the time that hasn't been. I am really intrigued to find out if they are going to kind of continue on following where this is going from here for Hae Min Lee's story for her murder and trying to figure out who actually did murder her. And I'm hoping that Serial does do some further follow-ups, but I'm hopeful that they do it in a new season and focus on the direction that the justice system and the police are going to proceed to try to get this solved with the correct murderer. For movies, I actually narrowed this down from my entire list of movies I watched to 2 that I wanted to share. The first one, obviously a favorite of mine, and my mom's actually watching it again tonight, and that is Austenland. She's actually watching it right now while I'm filming this, which is kind of funny. But we watched Austenland last month. I love Jennifer Coolidge in this. I think it just is so perfectly done. If you guys have read the book, as much as I want to say the book is better, and I love the book, I love the movie even more. And I think it's because it is perfect casting for the characters, and it just works so well. And for anybody who is a 1995 lover of Pride and Prejudice, you will love to hear that Mrs. Wattlesbrook's husband was also in that movie. I'm not going to tell you who he was. I will leave it up to you to figure that out. But if you haven't watched Austenland and you love Jane Austen's works and you want a little bit more of a humorous spin, go and check out that movie. The other one that my mom and I actually watched was Love on Safari, and I think this is a Hallmark one if I remember correctly, but this one was really nice. It takes place with our main character going to Africa. Her family member has left her a safari, a wildlife reserve, and it's kind of her trying to figure out what to do and to make the right decision. I just found this so beautiful for the scenery and the wildlife that they had in the production, and honestly is just really making me want to go and volunteer over in Africa on one of the reserves and just kind of be able to feel like I'm doing something. I feel like anytime I watch something dealing with a wildlife reserve, I just instantly feel drawn to go there and to volunteer and spend my time learning more. And this definitely kind of gave that vibe, but I found that it was just a very light, fluffy movie if you're looking for something like that, where it's an insta-love of sorts and does not really have a very deep storyline. Definitely go and check that out. I found it quite enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's the best movie of all time, but I did quite enjoy it. For TV, I didn't really get watching a lot of TV, but Mom and I did end up finishing season 3 of Sherlock, as well as watching the special, The Abominable Bride. Love, love, love Sherlock. I'm sure you guys have heard me say that in previous videos. If you've been watching a lot of mine, you know that I love Sherlock. I think they did such a brilliant job with it. I'm also really excited that we got caught up to date because the only thing we haven't watched of Sherlock now is season 4. We've rewatched all the other seasons because we watched them previously, but we wanted to get caught up so that we could watch season 4. And I'm very excited. I think we're going to go and get it next weekend, and that is going to be how we spend our weekend. Very bittersweet knowing that it's going to be done after that, but I did really enjoy season 3. I forgot how dark and like intense they went after season 2 season finale. I don't know why I forgot about that, but season 3 just had so much going on, and I love that you really have to pay attention the same way that you should when you read the works to kind of pick up all of the little things along the way. So finally, we are on to some goals updates. So the first thing that I'd like to say is we did actually do some side hustle stuff and sold some things that were in the house that we were meaning to get rid of for a while, and we finally got those sold. I'm so excited. But the bigger thing is with the book club update. So we actually read and did the meeting for discussing The Summoning, which was the second last one we picked. And then the new one that we chose was Caraval, and that has been read. And this coming Saturday, next week, we're actually going to be doing the discussion video. I'm very excited to discuss it. I have so many things and thoughts and everything of the like. I am very excited to go and discuss it further with all of the members of the club. With regards to my Bible reading, I am up to date. I actually, at the end of February, was to be in Deuteronomy, and that's exactly where I was at the end of February. And then for Goodreads, I am 13% of the way through. There are some books that I have read that I just can't mark on Goodreads, so I have read a total of 16 books by the end of February, so not too bad. But the actual Goodreads goal for what I've been able to mark has put me at 13% completed. So finally, we are on to the other section for updates. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is after many years of not going to this, I finally went to the winter carnival that typically takes place here where I live. And I'm so glad that I finally got doing that. It has been so long since I've done the winter carnival. I bet you I was probably like early, like possibly even preteen the last time I went, and I had so much fun going. It was a blast. I also, during this event, went and did the polar bear swim, which was a first for me. I'd been wanting to do it for years, and finally I did it. Unfortunately, with everyone that I had asked, they either had to back out or they said, no, I'm not doing it, it's way too cold. For me, I actually came to realize that this was something that I needed to do on my own, and I was trying to get somebody else to do it with me so that it wasn't as scary. And I'm so glad that I did it alone for my first one, because it was something I needed to do, and I needed that achievement of knowing that I did it by myself getting into that water. I didn't have someone there supporting me being like, go and do it. What was fantastic though, my mom had said she wasn't going to do it with me, but she still showed up and supported me in person, and that meant the world to me. I actually had someone else that I knew that when they found out I was doing it, they actually showed up to support me as well, which I just it was amazing. I'm so glad that I have amazing friends and family around me. It is just it was really nice to have that. Well, in January's update, wrap up thingy, mabob, I mentioned that I had applied for an internal position to transfer, and I actually ended up interviewing for that position, and I found out, I think it was a little over a week later, I was the successful applicant, and that was... I was shocked. I wasn't expecting that to happen. I was hoping that it would, but I wasn't sure that it would. And that's also why I was away the last 2 weeks. I was actually doing training out of town. The department that I'm working with actually is situated in a completely different city, but they're going to allow me to work from where I am currently, which I'm so thankful for. And I'm really excited for this new adventure, this new journey, and this new set of learning of all the things for this position. I'm really excited for that. And that was a huge thing for me. Yeah, I'm very excited for it. So the other thing that I got to do in February was I got to go to an art show, the official first night for an artist who is local to our area, put out the art that they had created. It is amazing, and I feel so amazed at the artwork that this person is able to create. And listening to their story, hearing that they'd been told, you know, they'd never be able to do art, and yet here they are producing these amazingly wonderful art pieces, and pieces that are creating conversation, is just amazing to me, and very inspiring as well. Definitely a moment where you hear something where somebody tore someone down and they didn't leave it at that. They got back up and they moved on from it and are thriving with it. The other thing is I actually got to go to a paint night with this artist, kind of heading the paint night for directions and helping you create your own work. And I had so much fun. It was very nerve-wracking. I've never gone to a paint night before. Also, I was going alone, so I didn't know anyone else, and that can be very nerve-wracking, but I went and I loved it so much. And this is actually what I ended up finishing. This is my artwork from the night. And is it the best? Probably not. But am I really excited that I did this and I have this to kind of show for it? Absolutely. And although everyone went very light with their colors, so they did a lot of bright colors, mine is a little bit darker, and I think it just is very me. Even with my family that I showed it to, they all said that is definitely you, Rebecca. So I'm very impressed with it. It definitely is me on a canvas, as I am going to call it, and I had so much fun. I hope to go again to another paint night. I definitely found it very soothing and relaxing, and I really enjoyed it. So February was a big month for me. There was a lot of change. There was a lot of stuff going on that was maybe not planned, but I definitely really enjoyed it. And I'm so excited to see what the rest of the month of March has in store. February ended with me being out of town and doing training, and I'm very excited to be home, be around my family, my books, and just kind of continue to thrive towards the next thing and just be very present in each day and appreciate it for what it is. So that is everything. If you guys want to share something that is from your month of February, be it a book, a movie, TV show, podcast, or just something in general with yourself, a goal that you achieved or whatnot, feel free to do so down below in the comments. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you then. Bye!